welcome back to another episode. Or if you're new to the channel or you're here to see the Troopy build, then welcome to Butler Boy Adventures. So we're just a small YouTube channel, an adventure channel, sort of focusing it mainly on camping, but a bit of four-wheel driving, boat camping. So yeah, that's what we're all about. So we started the channel, me and my son, so just to document our adventures really, but as it's matured, as the channel's matured, he's also matured, got a bit older. He's not so interested in hanging around with his old man every weekend. He's still into all the outdoor stuff, but he's got his own life now, so it tends to be a bit more of a sort of solo channel now, or just me sort of doing trips with my mates. But yeah, that's a bit about BBA. So welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. So this is the first episode in our mini series of the Troopy build. So this is a 2025 Land Cruiser Troop Carrier, or 78 series Troopy. It's the 2.8 4-cylinder, so it's not the V8, but it is awesome. I really love this engine and this sort of mix with this transmission. It goes really well. We haven't done that much to the car yet, so this is sort of the first stages of the build, which I thought I'll probably show because I have got quite a bit happening in the next couple of months. So I thought I might just show you guys what we've been doing over the last 6 months. Not a great deal, to be honest. So it doesn't look significantly different at the moment, and that's mainly down to the cost. So I just haven't had the money to be pumping into the car. It's an expensive car to begin with, but we have done some mods, so we'll show you through those. This is actually the first time that this car's been used on a camping trip, so it's just a quick overnighter. That's pretty disgraceful because I've actually had it for 6 months, but we are in it finally. So once we get to camp, I'll show you around. But there were two main criteria really for this car: that the rear seats remain, so we still use this as a family car, so I have to keep the rear seats in, and there's an option to camp in the back as well. So I am going to eventually put the rooftop on the top, and predominantly I'll be using the rooftop tent, but I do want the option for sort of covert stealth camping if I need to, or if the weather's just rubbish, I've got that option to jump in the back. So I have a bed that works with the rear seats as well. So that's sort of the main criteria. So as I said, I've got this rough sort of plan in mind, but I'm kind of making it up as I go along, and just sort of adapting, and really the reason for that is so that I can make use of the space as much as I can, and just as I build it, just try and use it. So anyway, I'm just arriving at camp now, so I'll show you a bit more once we get there. Here we are, camp. So as you can see, the Troopy doesn't look a whole lot different. So not much on the outside difference. And there's not actually that much different on the inside, but what we might do is just start with the cab. I think there's a few nice little mods in the cab. We'll have a look. So we've got these nice Molle sort of pouches. So Sonny's in this one, the Sonny's going there, and we've got the same on each side, and then a little pouch. So this one I've just got a tyre gauge. That one's not full yet, but this all came from Temu, so very cheap, nice and practical. You can still use it as a sun visor, but it's just I'm trying to maximize storage all the way round. So that's all it is in the front, but yeah, I think these are pretty neat and really cheap. I think the whole lot cost me about $40 odd, including postage, so mega cheap. All right, so then coming round to the back, we'll just take a look inside. So this is what we've done today. So we've got the bed structure, so that's built up. We've got the fridge underneath, the drawer fridge. I'll talk about that in a minute. As I said, I like to make space for, utilize any space. So we've got some space in the end there. There's a crash pad bag there. Not sure what I'm going to put in that at the moment. There's a gap under here which I'm going to put the ladder for the rooftop tent. So this is just the bed frame, so obviously it needs to get the mattress. I haven't got the mattress done yet. You'll see there is a slot cut out there, and that's so that I can access that's the rear window wiper reservoir plus the jack and all that kind of stuff. The jack was over here, and I'll talk about the compressor in a minute. And then I've got another panel that just goes that fits in, but the wood's all warped at the moment, so I've actually taken it out. I've got to recut that because the wood I'm using is just no good. It's all warped, although it'll probably flatten once I get the mattress on. So we've got a new floor in there, so it all bolts down to the new floor, and obviously, as you can see, we've got the ARB twin air compressor, and that's mounted in there as well. And then at the far end, so there's a vent there so that the fridge can breathe. We've got some crash pods, so these are the large ones, so these will be for storage for food. I haven't quite worked it out yet. And then there's another little cubby hole towards the end, just there again for storage. Also, we've got a light sort of pre-wired up here as well. So there's no battery fitted at the moment, secondary battery. The wiring DC to DC charger, that's all in, so we've got wiring from the crank battery. The wiring's in, but it's not hooked up yet, but eventually. So this is sort of the first stage of the build. So that's pretty much the build in a nutshell. So what I might do now is just roll some of the footage that I've been filming over the last 6 months in the order that I did this, because it was important that I got it in the right order, because obviously as you get more and more in, it covers things up. So you just got to think about that. So all the pre-wiring for the battery, that's why that's in. The pre-wiring for the light, that's already in. And the air compressor, the ARB air compressor, that's all hooked up. Right, so the first thing that had to be done was the floor. So this is a pre-cut floor for a Troopy from Unwind Design. So they're a really cool company down in Victoria. So that got shipped up to Sydney where I live. It's pre-cut for the 2-seater Troopy. So I had to cut my own slots in so that I could still use the rear seats. But that was the first job that had to go in, because everything's going to bolt to that. So that went in first, so I'll just roll those clips for fitting the floor. Right, so I've pretty much finished installing the floor. So I had to modify it so that I could fit the rear seats in, because it's designed for the Workmate, the 2-seater. So I've just drilled some additional holes, made some additional holes so that the seats can still work, and then I just finished off the edges with some deck oil just to protect that. And then I've got this edge, aluminium edge. So the front, that's still going off, but I've got another edge along there as well. The only thing I'm not that keen on is this edge. It doesn't sit real square. It's probably the way I've installed it, but this will all get covered up anyway, so it's not too much of a drama. But yeah, it's pretty nice. It's all CNC cut to fit the Troopy, so once it's all cleaned up and I get the rest of the gear in, I think that's going to look pretty good. So once the floor was in, the next thing was wiring. So I fitted the light here, so the light's in, that's bolted in, and then I've pre-wired all the way, so I've fed it through here, so behind the panelling, behind here, and then that will be ready to hook up. That worked. Now I can take the sheet off. Pre-wired the light in, the light's fixed, and also, as I said, the DC to DC charger that comes from the crank battery into the cabin, and then that wire, that cable's that's all ready to go as well, so that's all in as well. So they were really the first job. So get the floor in and get the pre-wiring in for the lights and the electrical system. So next came the fridge. Now I really hope I don't regret this decision. So I've gone for an XTM fridge. This came from BCF. a lot cheaper than the Engel equivalent. So I wanted a drawer fridge, although they're not as big as the chest fridges or the upright fridges. It just worked well with what I'd proposed for the bed, just again to utilise that space, and then I can just access it from the back. But so I opted for the XTM really because of the cost. It was significantly cheaper and lighter than the Engel equivalent. Now, I've been burnt with sort of cheaper fridges in the past, so I really hope I don't regret not getting the Engel, because I've got the previous fridge I've got is an Engel which has been brilliant. So the one that I use in the Prado is an Engel, and it's been absolutely excellent. So I just hope I've made the right decision with going for a cheaper option. It was really down to cost that really was the only deciding factor. If it plays up or it doesn't work or I have to replace it, it means I've got to rip all this out and do all this bit again, so that's going to be rubbish. So with the fridge going in first, then I could work out the dimensions that I needed then for this sofa stroke bed combo. Nice. So I've just made this blanking plate for the side of the bed. It's just thin marine ply and then just this rubber sort of checker plate look. So that's going to go on the side of the bed next to where the fridge is, and then I'm just going to install, I've just got this vent so that the fridge can breathe. That's just going to get bolted on. This 12mm edging with this sort of 3M backing tape, it's actually really good. It's really good. It's just a nice finish. Just tidy that end up. So again, trying to make use of space. That's pretty much where the fridge comes up to, and that gave me some sort of storage room at the end. And I've got these two crash pods, so these are the large size. I've got the lower one filled for this trip. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in those yet, but these will probably be the pantry. They just sort of slot in. That one's empty, and then the lower one I'm just using as the pantry for today, so for the cooking today. So again, it's just about sort of utilising as much space as I can. So you're probably wondering, how am I going to sleep on this bed? It's pretty small in its current state. So this is where the magic happens. So the good thing about the Troopy is the seats fold up. So the seats fold down like that. Just grab the camera. And then what I've done, I've built another section, like a table really, that goes into that gap there, and it lives its life under the chair. The sort of end section, which is almost like a table, with these clips, these 90-degree elbow clips that, again, another eBay special, and then we just plonk the extension in the gap. And there we have it. So ideally we would also have this other piece here, but that's essentially how it works. I will have a mattress that's made up that goes on there, like a upholstered mattress with a back, so it'll sort of double up as a sofa. But yeah, that's pretty much how it is. So tonight is all about just testing this out. So obviously I don't have that mattress in there, so I'm just going to use just a roll mat, a yoga mat, and then a roll mat tonight, and that should bridge over that bit, that gap. So yeah, that's pretty much the bed. So yeah, let's see how it works. So I can fit in there lengthwise, so that works pretty good. So as I said, I'm not intended to use this all the time, it's just another option. And then finally, the last of the installments is the twin ARB air compressor. So that's all plumbed in, like I said, that's hooked up to the crank battery, and we've got a switch in the cabin so I can activate it on and off in the cabin. This is where the hose is going to go. I haven't got that attachment yet. And this is the MIG-Tie Troopy mount for an ARB twin air compressor. Now I did have a few issues fitting that because it didn't actually fit the new model. There's like a part of the framework in the car behind it, so it's supposed to sit flush with the sides, but unfortunately because of this new bit of metal, which is only really to hold this paneling in place, and I could have cut it off, but being a new car I didn't want to do that. I've built it out a bit, and then I've got this kind of shelf, but there is other plans for this area anyway, so it's tucked in nicely and easily accessible. So this did come silver. I have painted it, but it hasn't, because of the finish, it hasn't come out all that great, but it is going to get covered up. There's other things going in the front, so we're not going to see that. So this is going to be good because it's nice and flush. I don't have to have a big bag with an air compressor in it. It's already plumbed in, so the engine will be running anyway when I use it. So it's literally just hook the hose up and then press the button in the front, and off we go. So as you can see, I haven't done a great deal to date. And I'll talk a bit more about what I've got planned, but I'm just gonna start prepping some stuff for dinner. I'm trying something new tonight, so I'm gonna get that going. I'll just set the bed up and then we'll be back and we'll talk a bit more. So the only other modification I've done, which I might just show you, is on the rear suspension. So I have actually installed some new shock absorbers, and that was so that I could fit airbags. So if you've watched some of the previous episodes, I spoke about a caravan that we've got. So this car also tows a caravan, and to aid that, I did have some airbags fitted underneath. So I've got some Pedders, new shocks and airbags as well, and that's where the airbags, you pump the airbags up. So I might change this. This is all for the caravan, so these are all the electrical hookups. I do think they're a bit vulnerable there. They could be a bit vulnerable where they're located and get smashed, so I might relocate those at some point. Yeah, so the airbags are not, I haven't got those really for four-wheel driving. They're really just to aid the caravan. So once we load the caravan up, it sags the back of the Troopy down. So it's really just to pump the back up to make it more level and safer really. So it's not really for the BBA channel, it's just for, we also use this as a tow vehicle. So the plan for tonight is just a chilled one. I'll sit by the fire, have some dinner,
and then go to bed and test out the new bed. But I am actually trying something else as well. I'm trying a new way of preparing food, and it's sort of a trial where I'm trying not to use a stove or any cooking utensils, and the reason for that is so that I can use it for remote type trips, so hiking trips or kayaking trips or even boat camping trips where I want to be really lightweight and not have any cooking gear and just use cold soak stuff. So I've actually got some Mexican style rice and some couscous, and both you're supposed to warm up, or with the couscous you're supposed to add boiling water and actually cook it. So what I'm trying to do is just dry soak it. So I've just added some water and it seems to work. It's been on for about an hour now and it seems to have already sort of done it without cooking. So if this works, this is going to be a game changer for lightweight trips. Then I don't necessarily need to take a stove. So with the rice, I thought I was going to do the same with that, but when I actually I put it in a bowl, it's all ready to go anyway. You could eat it straight as it is, so that's definitely going to work. And I've already done a breakfast like this, which works really well, and you will see that on an upcoming video, and that's why I'm actually testing this now to see if this works. But if this works, yeah, this is another way of sort of eating fairly good food but not needing to bring any kind of cooking equipment, which should be good. Let's have a look at this food. The rice looks alright, so I think that you can pretty much eat as is. And as for the couscous, that looks pretty good as well. So, oh, perfect. Awesome. That's good. I do miss not having a table like on the Prado, but it will come. All this gear will come eventually. So this is sort of the main reason why I've not been using the Troopy, because it's not set up. The Prado's set up really well for how I want it, so I'm just reluctant to go out in this car at the moment for that reason, because it's not set up that well. So yeah, just a pretty easy one tonight. I've got these 2 meals, and then I made a salad at home just before I left, just a chicken salad. So that's brilliant. Rice. Look, it'll do. Yeah, the rice would be better if it was warmer, but it's definitely doable. So I've got big plans for the Troopy, but it is going to take a while, mainly because of the cost. But there is some work happening in the next couple of months which will transform it to what it is at the moment, and with time it will become, you'll see it a lot more in the videos once I can start to use it. It's a bit difficult at the moment, as I've said, but the next job is to fit the battery in. Once the battery's in, that means my electrical system is going to work. It means I can use it. Right, so we're in the Troopy. First thing I've noticed how hot it is. It's mega hot. Well, it is a hot day today. So you can get fly screens for the windows, which I'll get, but thankfully I've got this little fan because it's mega hot. Oh, that's heaven. Actually, that's going to make a big difference. So yeah, just got this little fan, but yeah, this is cool. This will be really cool. But look, it's like learning to camp again. Like I've had my setup down pat for so long. It's all, even like washing up, because I had no table, like it's just kind of almost like learning camping again. So it's good. It's good to get back to the basics, get back into it. It sort of becomes second nature after a while once you've got a good setup. So it's quite good trying to, like what I'm doing now, trying to adapt things to make it work. I'm going to sign out in a minute, but I just thought I'd give you a tour of the inside of the Troopy. So this is the first
First time it's been used in anger, which is good. That fan is heaven, that's making a big difference. So yeah, I'm gonna get stuck into the book, and yeah, we'll see you in the morning. Well, good morning from the first night of the Troopy. I slept pretty good, but I'm not going to lie, I wasn't real comfortable. This self-inflated mat is not the most comfortable, so wasn't real comfortable, and because I'm 6'2", it's not quite long enough. The bed's not quite long, and it could do with being a couple of 100mm longer, then I'll be fine. But I'm just restricted to where the seat's folded back, and my feet were sort of getting caught in the frame of the car seat. But look, there's nothing I can do about that. It's definitely doable. Like I said, I'm not intending to spend lots and lots of nights in a row in the back here. This is just another option. So no, all good. Oh, actually, there is something else that I forgot to show last night. Another addition to the Troopy. I'll lose my bacon now after all that. So it's this hub lock tool. So on the front of a Troopy, you've got a lock. You have to lock the wheel hubs to put them into four-wheel drive, and then this is a tool for that. So it's just a 3D printed tool. So normally you use the wheel brace, but it saves me getting the wheel brace is packed away with all the jacks. So yeah, just a nice little tool. It's also got this little lever as well for max tracks holders. So yeah, it's a pretty neat little thing. So again, just another eBay special. All right, that's pretty much me done. It's actually a work day today. I've got to get back from work. I'm working from home today. I've got a meeting at 9 o'clock, so I'm only about half an hour from home. I'll get back with that. But in the meantime, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you're here to see the Troopy build, then hopefully we'll see you again. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy, fellas. Thanks for watching.